Have you ever tasted a cocoyam dish so silky in the mouth that it is so unforgettable? Today, I am sharing with you how to make a Ebiripo, a Nigerian dish of Yoruba origin. This is a simple Nigerian cocoyam recipe, and here I have the star ingredient of this dish, cocoyam. But I like to start from the beginning. So without wasting too much of your time, I'll start by cleaning the leaves. The name of the leaves that I'll be using is called Moi Moi leaves, and it's a very popular leaf that can be found in any typical Nigerian market. Cleaning these leaves is a first and essential step in any cooking process that involves the leaves. And I added some salt to the water before I started using the water to clean the leaves. Take a look at how dirty the water is. This is why cleaning moi moi leaves must be done. Now I'll change the water, but this time around I'll be using just fresh clean water, no salt, for the second cleaning. After the second cleaning, you would see how clean the water is, and this is the major indicator that the leaves are properly cleaned. So here is the next step. The second step before using moi moi leaves to cook is to remove the hard stick in the middle of the leaves, and I'll show you what to do. As can be seen in the video, lightly hold the leaf and then just pop the stick from where it is the hardest and pull it off straight down to the edge of the leaf, and then you can remove the stick. The reason I always do this is to make folding the moi moi leaves easy as the recipe or as the cooking progresses, and you will see what I mean when it's time to use the moi moi leaves for cooking. One other thing that I always choose to do is to save the sticks, because the sticks can be used to, create a foundation before using the moi moi leaves. Anyway, now I'm done with cleaning the leaves and it is time for the major ingredient, which is the cocoyam. I'll start by peeling off the skin of the cocoyam. To do this, I like to use either the potato peeler or knife. The reason why I like to use knives, I would like to say that I prefer to use knives to peel the skin, because over time I have grown very comfortable with peeling cocoyam skin with knives. But if you are not comfortable with that, feel free to use the potato peeler as can be seen in the video. Also, as I continue with this, don't forget that this recipe is a simple, straightforward recipe that only requires 3 ingredients. Yes, it's a 3-ingredient recipe that is so versatile and can be enjoyed with any soup of your choice. I'll tell you much about that later. Now, I'm done with peeling with the potato peeler, and I've just decided to go ahead and use the knife. So if you find it a little bit uncomfortable to peel with the potato peeler, feel free to use the knife, but be careful. Another thing is, feel free to like this video, leave your comment, share this video, and of course subscribe to this channel, because that is why I create amazing, easy recipes that is so good for beginners. If you are thinking about the origin of Ebiripo, well, Ebiripo is typically a traditional dish of the Ijebu people who reside in southwestern Nigeria. That's the Yorubas, and it is so easy to make. Now that I'm done with peeling off the skin, it's time to grate the cocoyam with my grater, and I'll be using the smallest part of the grater to grate the cocoyam. This dish is not very smooth. It is silky, it is nice, but it's essential to grate it this way to get that traditional taste in the mouth. After grating, I'll clean up the grater just so that I don't lose any of my cocoyam paste which I just made, and then I'll clean it off with my hands. Also, I need to state that my hands have been properly washed. So this is the outcome of the entire grating process, and it's time to progress into the next stage. The next stage is to season. I'll add about half teaspoon salt first, and then I'll mix properly with my hands. Remember, I said earlier that my hands have been properly washed because I'll be using my hands a lot as this video continues. I'll mix very well with my hands till I get a silky feel. I also added some water to mix, and now I'm adding more salt, about half teaspoon salt again. I added more water, and then I'm mixing again. The reason why I'm very gentle with the salt and the water combination is because the salt has a tendency of making the cocoyam batter a little bit watery. So I'd add a little bit salt, I'd mix well with water just to be able to feel how silky the batter is in my hands before I add more water. One thing to realize is cocoyam itself absorbs water, but it's also important to be very conscious of the water content in the batter, because the water content in the batter determines how silky and firm it would eventually turn out to be after cooking. Now that I'm done with mixing, it's time to fold. So here I have my moi moi leaves, and this is how to fold moi moi leaves. And you see the way I crunched it up at the end. It was so easy to crunch up without the leaves tearing into two because I removed the hard stick in the middle. Remember what I did earlier in the video? I removed that hard stick. So the major benefit of removing the hard stick in the middle of moi moi leaves while wrapping the leaf is to ensure that it wraps well and it holds the food you are about to put in the leaves. Yeah, that stick was removed earlier. So that is the basic cooking tip for cooking with moi moi leaves. After folding the leaves in my hand, I'll put the batter, the cocoyam batter, in the leaf. I ensure that the batter sits properly in the leaves, and of course I'll proceed to close the leaves properly to make it presentable for cooking. And let me show you what I have. After I am done with folding everything, you'll see the result or the outcome. Here is how my folded moi moi leaves look, and this is how yours should look as well. Now it's time to steam. I'll pour some water into my pot. I already have the steamer on top of the pot. I'll pour some water into the pot, and I'll be cooking this dish with steam, not by boiling, but with steam. Now I'll proceed to arrange the wrapped cocoyam batter in the steaming rack. For steaming process, it doesn't take long at all. I'll be steaming for about 15 minutes on medium heat. And after 15 minutes on medium heat, oh, you will see how delicious looking this Ebiripo would turn out. I'll also share with you some of the food combination suggestions for this typical traditional Yoruba dish. Here is my Ebiripo after steaming for 15 to 20 minutes. It's so easy to make. I'm sure you have realized that at this point. Now let me unwrap it just to show you what it looks like. Yeah, this is quite hot, so you bear with me. Okay, now this is what my Ebiripo looks like. Ebiripo can be enjoyed with egusi soup, eforiru, efoelegusi. You can also enjoy Ebiripo with ata dindin. So I've come to the end of this video. Till I post my next video, have a lovely time. Bye.